Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the Mustard Seed. I'm Andrew.
I'm James.
I'm Jess.
Join us on our journey. Yeah. I
Dang,
I
there you go.
upgraded to two better looking people today, guys.
I don't know. That's anyone's opinion. So, how did that feel saying, join us on our journey? Was that
It's always weird.
uncomfortable?
That's why, like, you see me do a weird voice because I'm like, join us on our journey. 'Cause I know it's Ryan's part.
Yeah, that was a bad impression of Ryan, but
Yeah.
that's all right.
When I recorded 2 weeks ago by myself, when I said I'm Andrew, I was waiting for Ryan to go, I'm Ryan, and I was like, oh wait, he's not here.
Yeah.
Let's do a top five. Well, I got two people, and then Jessica's gonna run away after this, probably.
I'm tired.
All right, we got a top five pets, 1 through 5. So, who wants to go first?
Jess, you guess first. See if you can get number one. I feel like it's pretty obvious, but you know,
It's a dog.
Dog is number one.
there you go. And I'll follow up with cat.
Cat is number 2.
Okay. Now it gets interesting.
A bird.
Bird is number 3. Wow, you guys are doing so much better.
All right, I gotta get 4. Um, hmm. I'll say hamster.
No.
A fish.
Oh, fish.
Yeah, fish is 4.
Yeah, I should have known that. All right. 5.
5 is like just kind of. It's not
It's pretty random.
I guess some people have them.
I thought of a snake,
Obviously,
but that's
A
I mean, that's
rabbit.
pretty rare.
No.
A rabbit, that's a good guess.
Some people have them.
I wouldn't think it would
Can
be
you?
in the top 5, but I guess it.
A chinchilla.
No.
Is it a mammal? Is it a reptile?
Yeah, that's it. Reptiles.
Iguana.
Just reptiles as
Yeah.
a
Reptiles.
species?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Like
pretty vague.
Lizard.
Yeah, that's what I meant as like pretty like
Yeah.
lazy.
All right, so
We got
dog,
dog,
cat,
the dog,
fish.
cat. No, dog, cat, bird, fish.
Oh, bird, reptile.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, no big surprises there, really. I think
I would think
reptile is weird, but
bunny would be more than reptiles or like chinchillas, like Jess said. I feel like those are ferrets or something.
Maybe ferrets. I don't know. The chinchilla was a guess out of left field, honestly.
No, people.
But chinchillas are very cute, right?
They are very soft too.
Yeah, very underrated.
Nicholas Tagliatelle used to have a chinchilla.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, the chinchilla.
Nice.
Jess, are you running away? Or are you staying?
Goodbye.
All right. Good job, Jess.
Thanks for doing.
Have fun on your journey.
Hey, don't joke about our journey.
She's crawling away.
So I wanted to say for people that don't know who I am, who aren't the OGs who have seen my face
been
before.
Asking for you.
Have they been?
Well, 2 people.
2 people. Not nobody, so that's good.
2 people on randomly on our JJ Watt video. They're like, "Oh, bring this back."
Oh, nice. Well, they probably just want beyond the field back. They're like, I don't care who's doing it. They want the athletes. But yeah.
This is James, Ryan's brother, my cousin.
Yep. I think I made an appearance like, I don't know, a year ago.
You did about a year ago. You did at least 3 episodes. You did St. Joseph's with me. Then we did the wedding in your apartment.
Yep.
Elliot was born.
Yeah.
Then you did a bunch of Beyond the Fields.
Yeah, right.
So James has been on the channel a bunch.
Yeah, honor to be back.
You know what I was thinking about today? I was thinking about you because I was doing lawn care, and I
saw.
That's the family joke. Is like James is very good at lawn care. So when you get a house, you better have a perfect lawn.
No, I almost don't want to get a house at this point because the pressure's too much, and I don't want to have
a lot of pressure.
Live up. Yeah, I don't want those expectations. So
Yeah, I put Eli. When he woke up from his nap, when I finished one side, and I was like, all right, I gotta finish this side. So I just put him in the stroller, and he was just like,
Yeah.
what is happening? And I was like, all right, let's see how far I can get away. Can I leaf blow the driveway? Because like weird
With
pollen
him in
stuff.
it.
Yeah, I pushed him back, and he's just like,
Yeah.
he was like, okay, what's happening here? He was more like, what's going on, Dad? Huh? Like
So he just chilled. He didn't
yeah,
give you
and he
didn't give you
loved like
buzz.
because like I would pop behind the car and then do his swing back, and every
Yeah.
time I did, I would go, and then he was
Nice
like,
little peekaboo.
"Hey, Dad!" So just like the little
Nice.
baby faces of them, like, "Hey,
Yeah.
are you getting the
Yeah, I mean,
smiles yet?"
yes. Yeah. So, yeah, for those that don't know, I just had a baby girl in February. Her name's Amelia. So I'm part of the dad group. She is starting to smile, which just like changes the game.
Yeah,
It
100.
makes like every stressful moment worth it.
Yeah,
So yeah, that it was a big time move by
yeah.
Amelia to start
It's
to
tough.
smile.
It's tough in the beginning when they're, it's just they're strictly business. Like, you give me my food and change
That
my diaper.
it's the best way of putting it. Strictly business. Yeah, like you know what I want, so let's cut to the chase.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, once you start, like you said, it really like brightens your day when you get that smile.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like I come home from work and like I only get a little bit of time with her before she's asleep. I'm like, let's see if she can, recognize me today and give me a smile. It's like just for that short time. But um, yeah, she's doing well though. So
Logan he wanted me to grow back my beard. He like told me, he's like, Daddy, grow back your beard.
yeah, I didn't even remember that you didn't have it. Now that
Yeah,
you're mentioning it.
I didn't have it
Yeah.
for like, I don't know, I guess 2 3 months.
Yeah.
But
Mm,
I think I'm sticking around.
yeah.
It
Well,
just
yeah, it gives you the option to just one day like walk into the living room clean shaven and just
mm,
see reactions. You always got to have that in your back pocket. So
yeah.
yeah.
Yep. So we're gonna talk a little bit about the Matthew. Let me pull that up. Ooh, I'm still on the pets over here. We got
Yeah, this was a good quote. I
yeah,
like this one.
Matthew 10:32-33 um
Hmm.
about the acknowledgement of him, and like, I don't know, you want to read it?
Yeah, so yeah, Matthew chapter 10, verse 32 and 33. Everyone who acknowledges me publicly here on earth, I will also acknowledge before my Father in heaven. But everyone who denies me here on earth, I will also deny before my Father in heaven.
Mm. The first
So,
the first
yeah.
image I get is Jesus on the cross with the two people next to him, you know,
Yeah,
him, the guy who didn't even know who Jesus was, acknowledging him, and the other guy shunning him. So like that's like the perfect like segue and like thought that you can like go into it with, of
yeah,
the acceptance and how he was one of the first people to get into heaven just for accepting him, and that's what this verse is saying about you will be accepted into heaven.
right. Yeah, you will be with me. I don't know what his quote is. You'll be with me in my kingdom or whatever he says.
Yeah,
But yeah, I think that's a great like first image to think of because it was the last moments of that criminal's life. It wasn't a reflection of who he was his entire life. He obviously wasn't a very good person up to that point, but he knew that acknowledging Jesus's presence in that moment was very important. So it's just a good reminder that there are so many opportunities that will be given to us, no matter how many that we've missed. They're always going to keep coming. He'll keep knocking at the door to give us a chance to acknowledge him in whatever situation it is. You could go on and on about people's personal situations and experiences about where they can, you know, fulfill this quote.
and I don't. You remember the whole Columbine thing? Remember Rachel? Um, Rachel's tear just right. Rachel, that was her name. She drew the 13 tears, and the whole story behind her is like they
Oh, right,
shot her
right,
saying like, "Do you believe in God?" And she was still alive, and they're like, "Do you still believe in your God?" And she said yes, and she did not deny him, even at her end.
right, right.
Like
Yeah,
even if like that could have saved, like denying him could have saved her. She's like, no, I'm sticking to what I believe and gonna go out the way I should go out.
yeah, right. It's like in this quote, Jesus wants us to feel the difference between what is earthly and what is not, and what's important and what is not. And she recognized that in that last moment, that everything on earth is fleeting, and our goal is to stand before him in heaven and say, I acknowledged you here, and I wanted to be with you in heaven. So
That's the
yeah,
perfect thing too. Is like everything here is just borrowed, and
sure.
the only thing we have is our memory. Like that's the real thing. Like you have like you're not taking things with you to heaven. You
Right.
except for maybe your memories.
That's a great other podcast topic is, do you carry your memories with you into heaven? Or I know you carry relationships, and there are certain marks that stay with you, but yeah, like the whole memory concept. I feel like that's really
Sure. When
interesting.
we all when we all get up there, me, you, Jonathan, and Ryan, we're playing. We're gonna play some baseball legends on
Yeah, I
the.
know. I still remember how to play baseball and golf, That'd be pretty sad. Um, but yeah, what else? Another thing I thought of in reading this, he says publicly, acknowledging him publicly. So I try to think of what that meant, and your first thought is, you know, somewhere in your day to day that's not typically, religious based, or not church, or not adoration, like random people and points that you're at, that you can bring Jesus into that experience, which is true. I think that all is important to do. But then as I kept thinking about it, church is a public gathering, it's not, that's not considered somewhere that it's just, you know, a private space to acknowledge the presence of Christ. It is public, it's open to anyone. And so even just going to church on Sunday is a fulfillment of this, even though it doesn't feel like it is, it
I'm
still is.
I'm thinking it's like something like this. Say my cross necklace pops out, and someone looks at it and they're like, "Ooh, you're religious like that?" And then so they go, "Oh no, no, it's just fashion." It's like, yeah, I am, and not denying him, like
Right, right.
talking about it, not being afraid to publicly embrace Jesus. Like
Yep.
stuff like that. Like people are more, especially in the Catholic faith, people are more inclined to like hide it because they're scared. We're very judged by people. We're looked at as crazies. That's what they have made us out to be, and it's more embracing it. Like I said, like say something like someone sees something that you have religious, like even this laptop just has like a whole religious sticker on the back of it, and just like someone like being like, oh really, that's what you're, yeah, that's what I am about.
Sure. Absolutely. Yeah. I think that's a great, those are the chances, like we said, it's like you're given these opportunities to acknowledge Christ and to bring him to others. And it's just whether or not you can, you know, recognize them and have the grace to do something with it. And as many times as you miss those opportunities, there'll be that many more given to you. And so it's just important to
And perfect example is
keep being
Peter,
ready.
you know denying him 3 times and
Yeah, right.
living his whole life for him
Hmm.
and winding up getting crucified just like him.
Yeah, yeah,
Got
that
crucified upside down because he didn't believe that he
yeah,
deserved the same death as his Lord.
yeah, yeah. That word deny is such a strong word, and it's like one of the easiest, you know, stories or thoughts that we have is that story of Peter's deny, deny, deny. Um, and yeah, it's a true deny. You know, is in my mind just another word for rejection. It's just taking something that you know you should do, that you know is right. Peter knew what was right. He knew the way and chose to reject it. And as many times as we want to say that maybe, oh, like we don't really know the true right and wrong, many times we do, and we just choose to reject it out of comfort, convenience, whatever it is. And so it's a rejection and not an acknowledgement of this is uncomfortable, but this is you, Lord, you know, and this is what I should embrace. So
And you can even touch on Thomas too. Like that's another sign of denial, but like not like like he was denying that
mhm.
he came back. So
Yeah,
there's all these different types um, out there that we will be tested in, and then like you said, if you drop the ball, hopefully you can pick it back up and like regain your honor in the Lord's eyes. And
yeah, yeah. That's the beauty of a merciful God who's constantly after us. You know, never giving up on as many times as we can fail Him. So um, yeah, but
yeah, it's very Matthew has a lot of you know, you take from him a lot because you know, he was with Jesus.
mhm.
It's amazing how I said this last week, that how it's written for us. Like if an athlete wrote you a story, you would go out of your way to read that page. But like people don't pick up the Bible that Jesus has written for you, for me and you.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
oh, coffee.
yeah. What's going on?
Jess was coughing.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, it's personal, right? Like never forget that. I think Father Mike had mentioned that recently on one of the catechism podcasts about how um, it is for us and it is for you, right? Like it's all, you think of it in both ways as, you know, Jesus died for us, but Jesus included in that us is you. And so every situation, all these situations that we're talking about with acknowledgement, it is God calling you to do something in a moment of weakness or a moment of strength, you know, to acknowledge his presence, do something with it, bring it to others, whatever it may be. So
And
yeah,
there's
never
something,
forget the personal side of it.
yeah, there's something every day in your life that you're getting tested in, if you
Yeah,
know it or not. And
yeah.
that's the crazy thing.
I think maybe it was like 2 weeks ago. Josh mentioned the Jesus prayer, where it's the breathing, the Lord Jesus, have mercy on me, a sinner, as you breathe in, breathe out. Like that is great practice of acknowledgement throughout your day because it just keeps him on your mind. And so when a moment comes at work where you're in a situation where you can either choose to stand up for your faith or not, if you've been saying that prayer the whole day, it's on your mind and you're more motivated to say, like, you know what, I will take a stand here and I will say what I believe. So I think that's another great way to practice.
Yeah. And even with your faith too, it's like some people will shy away from you uh, with you more talking about it. And
Yeah.
even I said that even doing this, I've, you know, definitely been distanced from a lot of people. But
Yeah, it's I mean, that's something that Jesus preaches about a lot is persecution, on any level, uh, minor or major, and breaking of relationships due to his name, and it's just the reality of
Which
what it
yeah,
means to be practicing.
I was in the top five thing when I was looking up top fives. It was like top five most famous people, and Jesus was number one.
Well,
Yeah, and number two was Michael Jackson.
number two.
I decided, yeah, I was like,
Wait, you should have saved that list, or I hope Ryan and Josh don't listen to this because that's a great list to throw at them. Like, how do you think of those two people in the same sentence?
mm, yeah,
Oh man, well, nice.
so,
All right,
good stuff.
list was good. Yeah,
Um,
thanks for
yeah,
having me on, getting me back in the loop.
yeah, we've been saying, gotta have you back on. Maybe when we do more, because I think we're gonna do more Zooms and stuff like this because Josh is, you know, having
Yeah,
another kid.
yeah,
It would
yeah,
be a little busy, but
yeah.
yeah. Oh, you know what I wanted to before you run off. You know what I wanted to talk about? You ever think about like how back in the day, how like with sports, like Sports Center is so obsolete these days. This is random. This is just going
This is
talk.
beyond the field.
Yeah,
Welcome to the
yeah.
next episode.
You know how like back in the day, you would if you missed like a reel, you had to wait the whole next hour, and it's just
Yeah,
like, how is ESPN still a thing? Because like I can literally like get a text from say, did you see this? And I just type it into YouTube or Twitter, and there's the reel of what
it's
happened.
there. Yeah, yeah,
It's not like
yeah.
how it used to be, where I'm like waiting to see the top 10. It's like, oh, did you see that amazing play? Oh yeah,
Right.
sorry, 2 seconds.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. That's probably part of the reason why it's changed is because it's like the whole ticker format on the side where, like you said, you're like anticipating seeing
Yeah,
something. It's so instantaneous. So, like, what can they really tease at this point? It's just, yeah. So they just choose to have ridiculous conversations and have crazy takes so that
yeah.
they can keep people watching instead of like showing
Mm.
highlights. So
And this year is I would say like the end of maybe like our childhood, kinda. I mean, we're old now, but no,
we're still children.
Ca- Cabrera, like back when like baseball was like,
Oh yeah, yeah,
he's
yeah.
like the last one pretty much out there.
Has he announced this is his last year?
Yeah, he's retiring after this season.
He is. Yeah.
I mean, I guess
Um.
Verlander, but I don't really consider him like watching.
Uh. Adam Wainwright, I think, because he was part of like the '04 Cardinals team.
Mm, and stuck
So
around.
he's, yeah, he's definitely a legendary
Yeah, we were
one.
talking about this a couple weeks ago about remember Scott Spezio, and we wore the red tape.
Oh yeah, I was listening to
Yeah,
that. Yeah,
yeah. There's so many like
yeah,
players that, like you forget about. It's like even like what's his name? Craig Counsell's the manager now, and it's like, oh,
yeah.
I remember him. And why do we know him? Because of his batting
That
stances.
was bad.
He was like,
Arm straight up.
yeah,
Like never forget that. Yeah, and like it also makes me think of like talking to our dads about
mm,
their sports uh growing up and who they were watching. Like they just have these names that they remember, and if they come up at any point during the game, they're like, "Oh yeah, I remember watching him." And
yeah.
it's like we're getting to that point where we now, oh yeah, like I remember watching him
You know who
years
popped up
ago.
into my head? Lance Berkman.
Oh man, what a
Because
stud!
they had Jeff Bagwell, Craig Biggio, and Lance Berkman. Like, and Lance
And
Berkman ended up on the Yankees at one point, but he
yeah, wow,
he was
forgot about those
he
days.
was a great hitter, just amazing.
Yeah, he was just like a big, beefy guy, but just like smacked them and like would bat 300, hit 30 homers and 100 ribbies. Like,
Huh. You remember Adam Dunn? He batted like 240 with like 40 home runs every year.
yeah. Yeah. And he would like at the time, it's like, man, like great power hitter, but brutal average. And if he played today, it's like people would not care at all about his average. They'd say home run hitter, like
Yeah,
let's
exactly.
get him, you know. So it's funny, different times. But yeah, Lance Berkman was a mainstay on my fantasy teams. I always remember like having him. Him and Jermaine Dye. I had a lot of Jermaine Dye.
Adam Dunn. I'm looking up his stats now. Let's see.
Yeah, that isn't a fun thing to do sometimes, is deep dive on the stats because you just see how different the game was from what it is now.
He ended his career in Oakland in 2014. Trying to see his home runs.
I hope for anyone that doesn't enjoy sports content, you can just shut off the podcast at this point
They don't tell people that.
because we're down the rabbit hole.
Adam Dunn, 462 home runs.
462. Yeah, like surprising he didn't get to 500. You know.
Well, the person I would keep playing until I hit that 500th home run is Fred McGriff. Ended his career on 499.
Wow. Yeah.
Like, I'll play
Now
for
that you say
free
that,
until I hit that home run.
yeah, that's brutal. Did he? I guess did he finish out a season and just like I wonder when he hit 499? When was the gap between his last game and him hitting that? Like,
I kind of remember him like ESPN kind of making hype about it, but
yeah,
yeah, I would be like, all right, I'm coming back one year
yeah. I mean, come on, like,
until I hit this.
yeah,
No,
crazy.
but
Good times.
yeah. Well, thanks for
Baseball, what a
joining
game.
me. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for memory lane with baseball.
No problem. Anytime.
Yeah, appreciate you. Appreciate you guys. Stay rooted in Christ. We'll see you next week. Peace.
Peace.